think of your favorite game. It's likely that whatever game you chose has a particular quality. That is, when you first played it, it felt like anything was possible. Each hour is filled with one surprise after another, slowly immersing you in some strange, fantastic world. Nearly every entry in the Yakuza series has that same quality. As you explore the grimy streets of Kamurocho, it's hard not to marvel at the things you uncover, whether it's heading to the arcade to play Virtua Fighter 2, belting your heart out during karaoke, or participating in ridiculously over-the-top taxi races. Yakuza tends to offer a staggering amount of things to do. Unlike other open-world action games, these activities don't feel like distractions desperately trying to fill in for a paper-thin story. The huge, ambitious, overarching narrative is absorbing because it ruminates on complex and relatable issues like finding your place in a terrible economy and struggling to hold on to traditional values in a rapidly advancing technological world. Meticulous attention to detail gives it all even more authority. Anyone who's walked around Tokyo will be shocked at how accurately Yakuza portrays its every nook and cranny, right down to the items on convenience store shelves and vending machine locations. Yet there's always been a certain stiffness clinging to the series. Running around the city and navigating your way through fights is sufficient but rarely exceptional. Based on our hands-on demo at Tokyo Game Show, Yakuza 6 is a significant upgrade in almost every conceivable way. There's a new sense of weight present that makes moving feel better than ever before. Tightening things up dramatically enhances fights as well. Back alley brawls have always been hilariously violent, cathartic affairs in Yakuza. There's nothing quite as sadistically satisfying as slamming a street thug in the head with a motorbike. Thanks to improved animations, however, connecting knuckle to cheek reaches new levels of brutality. Some bone-breaking moves actually made us grimace a bit because of how visceral they felt. A long-standing complaint with the series is how little combat has evolved. Although it's hard to say at this point whether it'll be fully corrected with this entry, smacking around gangsters hasn't been so enjoyable since we first played Yakuza 3. Another arguably even more important advancement is that transitioning to battle is now totally seamless. Previously, bumping into angry jerks prompted an awkward shift in a manner similar to encounters in many JRPGs. Now that's completely gone, and you can start wailing away almost immediately after coming in contact with an enemy. Although it sounds like a simple thing, removing the extra step speeds things up significantly and lessens much of the tedium involved with minor skirmishes. Of course, with any Yakuza sequel, you'd expect a bevy of new side activities to mess with, and Yakuza 6 has plenty to offer. The most intriguing of which is a 100 vs 100 mode where you manage Yakuza members like a commander in a strategy game. Unfortunately, we didn't get to try this out for ourselves, so we don't know much outside of what's presented in the trailer. Also new is the ability to walk around environments in first person and take selfies with your camera phone. Yakuza 6 intends to go in other weird directions as well, since the gameplay trailer shows hero Kazuma Kiryu fighting off a shark, visiting cat cafes, and chatting with cam girls. The story trailer released during TGS features a lot of intense close-ups, and with good reason. Yakuza 6 looks fantastic. Every face wrinkle, skin blemish, and individual hair is meticulously fashioned into place. Even though we only know a little Japanese, there's still a level of gravitas present during dialogue, since characters emote so convincingly at one another. Yakuza has been impressive since its debut in 2005, but it's never seemed as sure-footed and technologically proficient as it does now. We can say with absolute confidence that Yakuza 6 was the best thing we saw during our time at TGS, which makes the fact that we don't know whether or not it's coming out here that much more frustrating. Yakuza has had a troubled history outside of Japan for a myriad of possible reasons, including releases at the end of console lifespans, poor marketing, constant and largely inaccurate comparisons to Grand Theft Auto, and a lack of English dub with all entries except the first. It's hard not to think a greater number of people would appreciate the series if only they were more aware of its existence. Perhaps another reason Yakuza hasn't gained as much traction as it could is because it's difficult to succinctly summarize. The story trailer for Yakuza 6 is as somber as can be, with many scowling faces accompanied by melancholy music. The gameplay trailer, on the other hand, features a smiling Kazuma playing a ukulele as a crowd of bystanders bob their heads in rhythm. Yakuza is a bizarre yet consistently charming blend of irreverent and soap opera serious. It's not merely an Eastern Grand Theft Auto, but rather a distinctly Japanese game that uses an open-world structure to express the many facets of the culture it came from. Yakuza 6 feels like the biggest, boldest, and best iteration of a series that has always been more than the sum of its parts. Hopefully, it's loud enough to catch the attention of those who have yet to give it a chance.